The College Band Directors National Association Southwestern Division Conference is scheduled for February 25th through the 28th in Denton, Texas, and the featured primetime performer on Thursday, February 26th, will be our own Arkansas Tech University Symphonic Wind Ensemble. And here to discuss this great opportunity with us is Dr. Daniel A. Belongia, the conductor of the Arkansas Tech University Symphonic Wind Ensemble, the director of bands at Arkansas Tech, and professor of music here at Arkansas Tech. Dr. Belongia, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Sam.
If you could just recall for us the story of how this opportunity came to be, because this is an opportunity that was not given, it's an opportunity that was very much earned by the Symphonic Wind Ensemble.
Well, thank you, Sam. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about this. This would be the 8th time Arkansas Tech University has performed on a stage at a College Band Directors National Association convention, dating back to 1967 in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So they happen every 2 years at their division level and every other year at the national level. As you might imagine, a lot of this is timing and geography. This year's conference being in Dallas seemed like a good place that we could perform and have a lot of involvement. You recall, of course, we got to go to New York City and play in Carnegie Hall, and it was an experience of a lifetime. The only slight regret with that was New York City was really difficult for alumni, friends, and family to get to, particularly at the end of the pandemic. So in this situation, Dallas seemed like a great place where we could celebrate with our friends and family. And the College Band Directors National Association represents the group of my colleagues that wants to work together as often as possible to advance the repertoire, create opportunities for students to perform, and then share that with each other. So last year, when it was announced that the convention was going to happen at the University of North Texas in Dallas, first thing I needed to do was come up and talk to Dr. Cass and Dr. Bright, have a visit about what if we apply, what happens if we are selected, can we build the infrastructure to do that? And as always, Dr. Bright and Dr. Cass were quick to say, let's go. We'll figure it out. We know we can support you at this level. Do you think you can rally the troops for the rest? I had a quick meeting with Brian Fisher in the foundation. Brian said, of course, the same thing as he always does. Let's go. Let's do something cool. And then, first and foremost, Dr. Becky Calloway stepped up for us, and as she has done many times, as you know. So Dr. Calloway had an idea for something, and I had to call her, or I had the opportunity to call her and ask her how she felt about this other idea. And she said, let's go. So those were the building pieces or the building blocks for us to get started. Then we had to get to work with the 24, 25 members of the Symphonic Wind Ensemble to make our recordings, gather them from our public performances from that year, submit them, and then just wait and see.
And here we are. The Symphonic Wind Ensemble is now on its way to perform at this great event. And if you could just share with us a little bit of the music that you'll be playing down in Texas.
You bet. We're going to perform 5 pieces on that evening concert. All 5, come to think of it, have been performed in Witherspoon over the last couple of years. So this evening really represents to me, in every capacity, an evening with friends. As I said, Dallas is close enough that our friends can be with us. A lot of our administration and alumni and family and friends are going to be with us. And these compositions and these composers, in many ways, are friends. We're going to begin with Viet Quang's really, really fun percussion concerto grosso called Renewal. The second piece on the program is a Native American composer named Black Horse wrote a piece in our language called The Sounds of Water. We're going to close the first half with David Biedenbender's trumpet concerto, the third movement of which called River of Time. After a short intermission, we're going to perform an arrangement of Caroline Shaw's beautiful choral work called And the Swallow. And we're going to close the program with our friend Brian Balmage's new symphony masterwork called Windows and Mirrors Symphony No. 1.
As you look ahead to this and you think about taking the Arkansas Tech University Symphonic Wind Ensemble to the College Band Directors National Association Conference, when you raise your baton on that Thursday night, you're going to have the entire ensemble before you, but it's comprised of X number of human beings. And when you look out in their eyes, what are some of the experiences, what are some of the memories that you hope each one of those individual students will be able to carry with them from that night for the rest of their lives?
It's fun to imagine that thought. And I've been very, very fortunate in my life, and I'm grateful to have had a few of those moments before. And before I take that last inhale, before we go, I'm just going to be thinking thank you, just to everything and everyone. That it's a miracle that 55 or so musicians can gather in a space. 55 humans can gather in a space. It's a miracle that humans can work to manipulate sound waves into a shape that's pleasing for others to hear. And it is truly a miracle that this group of human beings is going to move down the interstate and into the hotels and down the road and be gathered in this space to celebrate that music and everyone's shared humanity. It's an evening with friends. And all those pieces I just mentioned have a special significance, not only in its musicianship, but in that humanity. My colleague Corey Fika and his dear friends that make up the Epoch Percussion Quartet are performing Renewal. Dr. Robertson, our professor of flute, is the performer on The Sounds of Water. Dr. Perry, our trumpet professor, is the soloist on The River of Time Trumpet Concerto. Dr. Katie Rohr is conducting the choral transcription of the Shaw because it's a piece she taught me about recently when our wonderful choral artists performed it here. And this setting for winds is done by my friend and former student from Illinois State University, Danielle Fisher. And that symphony by Brian Balmages. Brian and I were graduate students together at the University of Miami some decades ago. And his lovely wife, Lisa, and my wife, Jill, became fast friends because they were both elementary music teachers. So this evening is going to be a celebration of just all of that gratitude. And what I hope it means for my students, the best way that I can say this is that I hope for our students it has some effect and impact reminiscent of the one that I had in 1996 when my teacher brought us on the road to play at a CBDNA in the last millennium. And as a young man, I remember having no idea what this was. But when we got there, I realized that, well, I had a glimpse. I can't say I realized, but I had a glimpse, my first glimpse, of the concept that there were so many other groups working to do the same thing we were. And there were so many other young musicians dreaming about the same things that I was and learning about the same things that I was at that time. And it unlocked for me a great curiosity about that and a hunger to try to find that in other experiences. So 30 years between 1996 and 2026, here we are with ATU's eighth time on this stage.
Well, and it is a tremendous platform, not only for the Arkansas Tech University Symphonic Wind Ensemble, but for the Department of Music, for the College of Arts and Humanities, and for Arkansas Tech University in general. As you look to the future and continue building our instrumental music program here at Arkansas Tech, continue to improve it, continue to raise the bar, how do you hope this experience and this platform will benefit your program moving forward?
As I said before, I hope that it just unlocks future curiosity, which will unlock then future opportunities. Again, the CBDNA, in its, as my feeling and my understanding about the CBDNA is a sharing entity, and live streaming and the internet, of course, has changed this. But decades ago, of course, one would come to a CBDNA convention with a curiosity and a hunger to learn about the repertoire that had inspired our colleagues. So you would go and you'd sit and listen, and then you'd go home with a list of new music to explore and new composers to explore. So these conventions are about serving our ensembles, serving our institutions, but more so serving our students and hopefully also the activity, the genre, and the profession. Few of these pieces that we're bringing to the performance are heralded pieces now. Dr. Biedenbender's piece, River of Time, has won awards globally and been performed all over the country and the world. Viet Quang's Percussion Concerto Grosso, Renewal, very similar. My colleagues in the audience will have heard that music before. They know about that music. Hopefully they'll look forward to hearing it live again. But some of the other compositions, perhaps in a way all three of the other compositions, are rather new and some new faces that I hope will inspire my colleagues to investigate them. And then we'll have new music created. And then again, I hope our students walk away feeling more inspired so that they will have this to then pour into their future students in myriad unknowable ways.
I believe that the main reason those 55 students who are going to make this trip were drawn to your program, to the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, and the reason that the individuals who will make the trip down there and those who come to listen to your performances at Witherspoon Auditorium, I believe the fundamental reason why all that happens is because there is a pursuit of excellence that occurs within the Symphonic Wind Ensemble at Arkansas Tech University, and it's the idea of fully pouring oneself into this endeavor. That's evident in everything that your group does. And I'm just curious, you've been at this for a little while now, despite your youthful glow. You have been at this for a little while now, long enough that you've got quite a few alumni out in the world who are now pursuing their own careers. As you have watched all that unfold, that pursuit of excellence, how have you seen that benefit your students, not only as musicians while they're at Arkansas Tech, but throughout the rest of their careers?
Thanks, Sam. That's a very kind way to frame that question, and I do appreciate the compliment. And I hope that's true. I think that's the best way I could start that. And maybe secondarily, refer to the fact that it was that reality at Arkansas Tech University in part that made me interested in this position in the first place. This is another chapter in the book of Gene Witherspoon and Hal Cooper and Christopher Anderson, and now perhaps in some small way Dan Belongia. And each of those conductors has brought a group to a CBDNA, and multiple, of course, in terms of Mr. Witherspoon and Cooper. So we've all had this opportunity to try to share this experience with those students. Among the most fulfilling things any teacher can experience is when a former student reaches out to let you know that they found something worthy from the experience, that they transcended something that they previously didn't know they could. You're a sports guy, as I well know. I was moved years ago by an interview with the UConn women's basketball coach, Gino Auriemma. And an interviewer asked him how he got the best high school players in the country year after year to want to come to UConn, because he had a reputation for running really difficult practices. She said, your reputation is you're not nice. And he kind of gristled, and I hate to hear that. But she said, how do you get the best players to come? And he said, well, we're very honest with them. He said, I tell recruits, there's 1,000 schools you can go to that'll never push you beyond what you can do right now, and they'll be so grateful that you come to their school. And if that's what you want, you should go there. If you want to get better, you should come here, because I'm not going to accept what you tell me is your best every single day. Because fundamentally, Gino Auriemma said, I believe that's why coaches exist. If I accepted when you said, I've shot all the free throws I can shoot today, coach, and I said, good for you, go hit the showers, why am I here? I am here because when you tell me I'm out of gas, coach, I can't run another lap, I need to tell you, wrong. You're stronger than you think. You can do more than you think, so that when you leave here, you're better than when you got here. The students in the Symphonic Wind Ensemble understand that. And they understand that though they are very fine young musicians, their dreams go beyond where they are right now. And they understand that work ethic results in opportunities in life. And the most rewarding thing in the world is when a former student will share their successes and share their experiences in their professional lives as a performer or as an educator. So that's what we hope for every day when we go to work.
For 6 decades, Arkansas Tech musicians have been wowing audiences at College Band Directors National Association conferences. That tradition continues. On Thursday, February 26th, Dr. Belongia, best wishes for a great trip, a great performance, a great experience, and thank you for your leadership of this group.
Thank you, my friend.
That is Dr. Dan Belongia, professor of music, conductor of the ATU Symphonic Wind Ensemble, and director of bands at Arkansas Tech University. Until next time, so long, everybody.